section 1, number 37, which reads, as used on line 32, observed most nearly means. Whenever you see this most nearly means, you know you have a vocabulary and context question. How do you treat a vocabulary and context question? First, ignore any meaning of the word you're familiar with. Most of the time it's not the most common meaning of the word, but don't automatically eliminate the most common meaning of the word, because once in a while that's correct. Just ignore the word, because what the College Board loves to do is they love to give you a common word and then give you an uncommon meaning that's correct as used in context. So students tend to, if they're not familiar with the meaning, they might just eliminate an answer choice and be like, oh, that word doesn't mean that. Well, it might mean that. You might not be familiar with that definition of the word. So get it 100% based on context. Do not rely on your own knowledge of the definition of the word at all. Second thing, you could think of your own word or words that would fit in place of the word. Third thing, you can put each answer choice in place of the original word. Fourth thing, a lot of times there's a synonym of the word before or after. And in this one, what we're going to see is a different form of the word. Anytime the word is mentioned in another context in the passage, it is going to be used in the same way. So we go to the passage, and I've cut out a large portion here. So to summarize the first paragraph, which is pretty long, it's 23 lines, but it can be summarized just by what I've underlined. Let every American never violate the laws. He says it in very strong terms in many different ways in the first 23 lines, first paragraph of the passage. Second paragraph, I so pressingly urge a strict observance of the law. So there we get the word observed in a different form, observance of the law. So what's he mean by a strict observance of the law? Never violate the law. And then lastly, it says laws should be religiously observed. What's he mean by observed? Well, you don't violate them. You don't break the law. In other words, if you don't break the law, what are you doing with the law? You are following the law. Answer choice A is going to be your correct answer. If you're scrutinizing the law, then you're examining it carefully, and oftentimes, most times, a criticism of the law would follow. He's saying quite the opposite. Contemplate the law. He's actually not telling you to think. He's just telling you to follow it. And he does make a point, if there are bad laws, we should change them right away. But just follow the law. That's his MO. Answer choice D, notice the law. You might notice a law and be like, oh, don't drive on the sidewalk. And then just be like, oh, I noticed that law, and then you drive on the sidewalk. That doesn't make any sense. Never do that, by the way. Very, very dangerous. So notice is not correct either. Follow the law. A is your answer. Thank you for joining us today. If you like this video, click like. You can share it with someone who has trouble with vocabulary and context questions. If there's any question you'd like to see answered from any official PSAT or SAT or ACT, leave that in the comments. I'd be happy to shoot a video on it. Click subscribe so you don't miss anything, and check out our 1-minute videos on TikTok. Have a great day.